Hello. We are having some minor technical difficulties, and we're working to get them straight on Discord over here. We'll hopefully figure this out. In the meantime, relax. Drop a thing in chat. If you're watching on YouTube and you're seeing and you're even here, I'd be very surprised if you were. Drop something in the comments. But we will be starting our stream soon, hopefully within the next 5 minutes. So again, if you're on YouTube, just use that fast forward thing and just go. I will go ahead and say that this is your host, Termite, from 80-Bit Podsmash. That is a weekly video game podcast, smashing together ideas that you care about with video games. And our information here is right in the splash screen. It says starting soon. In our banner, it says Reddit, podcast, Twitter. So you can check out those. The 80bitpodsmash.com website has links to all of our social media outlets. And you can find our podcast drops every single Monday. Random topics pertaining to video games, usually where gaming goes to grab a beer. We just dropped one. We started a new series that's going to be going live here soon, all about talking to the non-gamer. So this is kind of going to be a podcast because we do need to, what's going to happen tonight? Well, we'll get into that when we're actually started. So tonight is a live review of Pokemon Legends Arceus. So thank you for hanging out. I'm going to go ahead and mute the mic. And if you're, again, watching on YouTube, just fast forward until you see our faces and then enjoy the show. And if you are on Twitch and you hear this at all, sorry, we'll be back in a few minutes. Hello, Podsmashers of the internet, and welcome to another live review of this month, Pokemon Legends Arceus is what we are going to be reviewing tonight. Once a month, we try to get together here on twitch.tv/80bitpodsmash and talk for 2 hours while playing, showcasing some gameplay, let's play style, a review of our game and what we're talking about. So we are your hosts. And I am Termite, indicated by the yellow names in our video. And we are normally a weekly video game podcast where gaming goes to grab a beer. And I have one this time. So I'm drinking a beer. It's fine. You didn't have to. I didn't warn you. It's okay. And the last bit of housekeeping is we will spin the audio of our voices off into a podcast as a bonus episode onto our RSS feeds. And if you're wondering what a crap I'm talking about, we have a weekly podcast that goes live every single Monday, and we talk about various gaming topics. We just kicked off an awesome 3-part series talking specifically to non-gamers and how to educate them, why they might want to be a gamer, and all the fun things about gaming culture that we find endearing and love about video games. So check that out, and you can find all of that at 80bitpodsmash.com. That's our landing website where there are links to all of our social media outlets, platforms, and podcast sources for your listening pleasure. And you wanted me to actually start going first. Do you have anything to add before? And while you talk, I'll switch my live stream over to my game. Boom. Okay. Yes. I switched it over. Now we're back. So everything's fine. Nothing happened. Don't worry about it. Yeah, drop a line in chat, and Termite here will be on the tech side of things, helping the volume adjustments and such. What are we holding on for? What happened? You okay? I did that, yes. I switched over to me for a minute. I'm on the title screen, so. Sweet. All right. No, right now you just go ahead and play because I'm going to talk in general. I am drinking a Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA. So I'm breaking out the big guns for this evening. Today is a special day, and this is the reason for the beer. Because today we got an extended trailer of the new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet editions coming, the official release of the next generation of Pokemon, which everyone kind of thought that Pokemon Legends Arceus was going to be that when it was first announced, showcasing Breath of the Wild style art and possibly the same engine. I would argue that it is the same engine, and but it had this weird moniker in its name, Pokemon Legends, Arceus. Is it going to be a different series? Is it going to be a spinoff? And then we realized, as the announcement progressed, that this is how I'm addressing the game. It's fine. This is set in the Sinnoh region of ancient times, before modern technology allowed Pokemon and humans to interact, before modern technology, Pokedex. So it's really, really cool to see the land of the Sinnoh region through this different lens. We've only seen it in the past with both the original Pearl, Diamond, and Platinum releases on the DS, and more modern, the re-releases, Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond on the Switch, but those are top-down view games, and now we're actually getting the full-fledged third-person kind of action RPG, if you will. I use that term lightly here in this game. I guess it's an RPG. It's, yeah. It just... Yeah, kind of took the direction of Final Fantasy VII Remake, like taking this idea of a turn-based combat, which it still is turn-based at its core, but more action-oriented. It's more like you can catch Pokemon and interact with them without actually battling, and you obviously can't swim without a Pokemon. So it's really cool, like, you did. So I played I haven't finished this game. I don't think you have either. It's a pretty meaty game. But I would say I'm probably 10 hours in or so. So I think I've gotten enough of the feel for the gameplay loop and how everything works that I can talk to the game. Take a sip. Yeah, I love that you have the visual up. So you were riding on a riding mount. So what is this game? This game is an open world Pokemon game, and it's not open world in its true sense in that you cannot just go wherever you want. The game does control, so there's where you go and what's next in the story, and gates you based on, like, there's a rock wall. You cannot get through that yet, so you're kind of gated there, as far as I know. What are you going to do with that? Rock Smash! Bah! We like some Ursaring. So the game does have, like, here's the next big area. You can explore the big area, but you can't progress to the next big area until you do the story beats kind of progression. Everything is still, like, there's no voice acting. You still have to read everything, just like the old days. And I think it's nostalgic, but a lot of people critique that, like, the Pokemon sounds are still they sound very much like just an improved version of the Game Boy ones. But I digress. Things I loved about this game are the open world aspect, the Breath of the Wild aesthetic, the kind of cartoony look to the game suits it very, very well. It's super fun. You can, like I said, you find Pokemon in the wild and you can approach them and you can do all kinds of stuff. You can be stealthy and throw food and lure them to you and then throw a Pokeball from the bushes and, like, catch them. Or you can just throw a Pokemon that you own out there and you can fight them like the old days and catch them that way. And then the way the Pokedex is laid out, and this is something else I actually do like about the game, is in the old Pokemon games, you would just catch the Pokemon, and that would fill out your Pokedex entry for that species. Where in this game, there's a list of objectives you can do. You can catch X amount of them. You can watch them interact in a specific way at a specific time of day. Yes, there's real-time, day and night, in-game cycle, day and night. It doesn't match the real life like Pokemon Silver did. So you can approach and you can catch different Pokemon in different areas. It's really cool to see in that kind of Pokemon Snap-esque way the Pokemon just fully rendered, 3D, animated, interacting with their environments from a distance. You can watch them do this, and it's really, really cool. I love the music. I think the kind of ancient Sinnoh region is very reminiscent of, like, Japan, like feudal Japan, and so there's music to kind of match that. I like... Click the right stick? Is that the right stick? Up on the D-pad? Down on the D-pad. Nope, that's items. I don't know what you did with that one. No. Yeah, there's a way to do that. Oh, you're done. Run. So what just happened is there are these powerful Pokemon with red eyes. So the idea, this is a mechanic of the game that ties in well with the environmental storytelling and the story of the game, which I love. And that is, humans are not friends with Pokemon yet. That has not happened. So in all of the modern games, anime, manga, you can see where, like, Pokemon are integral to human interaction. Like, they are involved in human society. They're friends with humans. They get work done for humans. They work alongside of. And in this game, they're not. They're wild animals, and they're scary. And in order for the game to kind of project that mechanically as the player exploring this world, there are suddenly really high-leveled Pokemon with red eyes that will attack you aggressively. And you have to run in the early stages of the game. You don't have a team high enough to beat them. And I think so. There's also instances where you're trying to catch, say, a Pikachu, and you see one Pikachu, but surrounded by a bunch of other Pokemon. So you're trying to, like, figure out a way to not scare off that Pikachu, but then you found yourself surrounded by a bunch of Pokemon. And that's scary because you're outnumbered. You can only fight with one Pokemon at a time. So you throw one out and you can get overwhelmed very quickly. So it's really cool that, like, the game is... I love when mechanics of games match the story and the lore behind the scenes, and that kind of meshes well here. It's good design. It's good Game Freak. What I would like to change in this game, things that I'm not super excited about. I think that the menus are just, there's too much. There's too much going on, like, to navigate through all of your items and all your Pokemon and all the, like, we just had the confusion about what button to push to do the things. There's a lot. So I wish it was a little bit more simplified. I said I like how the Pokedex is like a piece of paper giving you options for how to fill it out, but it wasn't super obvious to me that you only have to do enough of the Pokedex possibilities that equal 10. So one objective might be to catch 50 Bidoof. I don't want 50 Bidoof. It's clogging up my inventory. It's clogging up my extra. Like, I don't know what to do with them. It's also not super obvious that you can go to the farm and release them, and they give you the there's like a Stardust that you can use, kind of like Pokemon Go, but it affects their effort values, and which is a whole like micro, super in the weeds stat building tactic that people do on like min-maxing your team, kind of thing. You can boost your Pokemon stats individually, like strength and dexterity and stuff. So that's I would change. I wish I could make the Switch more powerful because the graphics. Luckily, this game does it well. This game does not feel any less fun. It's not bad by any means, but the graphics really could use. It needs some help. The pop-in's kind of bad, and the draw distances aren't all that great, and the world can feel a little spaced out and kind of empty at times. But I don't think that that's a bad thing about it. The story's been fun and engaging. What's weird is I don't know how I like. The main story beats of the original Pokemon games were like the gym badges, and mixed in with your progression through the 8 gym badges, fighting all the gym leaders, was also this whole like Team Rocket backstory thing, or Team Galactic, or whatever generation you're playing. And in this game, you're like, you see Team Diamond and Team Pearl. I don't know their actual names in the game, and they have some story going on, but there are these Pokemon that are acting a fool, and you have to go satiate them, sedate them, kind of like calm them down, and there's a reason behind it, and that's like kind of spoilery, and I don't really know the answer yet because I haven't gotten that far. But the whole like interaction with that specific Pokemon is not just a really hard battle like a gym leader. It's like this whole other throwing food at it from a satchel without a Pokemon, and so you're left kind of helpless as just a human throwing poffins at this ridiculously overpowered Pokemon doing all this crazy boss moves, which is almost like a third-person action game where a boss would show up. And I don't want to make a From Software comparison because it has nothing to do with it, but it is third-person. You have to dodge. The boss has patterns and moves that it does, and From Software is on my brain. So it's kind of like a From Software boss encounter without the difficulty. But it's weird, and nowhere else in the game are you doing this. So it kind of seems strange. I thought that was a little bit obtuse there. Right? Get out of here with that. Yeah. I'll probably have more thoughts. Like, this game didn't hook me. I kind of got bored of it quickly and moved on by other shinies. That was Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring. Yeah. Ooh, I heard you were muted, so I don't know if our audience can hear you, which is odd because I can see your voice working in Zencaster, but you're not muted in. I hear you just fine in Discord. Maybe I have to do this? Maybe you're just really quiet. Can't hear Penguin either. How about now, everyone? And thank you for the notifications. That's what I'm talking about. Some feedback. I don't know what that song was, but that was cool. I guess we'll await some feedback here. But I had you lower, so I just turned you way up, and it didn't sound. Still nothing. Huh. I see sound interaction.
Yeah, I'm listening to it now, and I still can't hear myself.
Boom. There it is.
So,
you're here.
what?
That was it.
You got it?
Yep. There was another thing muted in Streamlabs. So now everyone should be able to hear you. Luckily, you didn't really say a lot. That was good.
I didn't. I was nice and quiet.
And Zencaster will catch your audio for our podcast listeners. This will spin off as a bonus episode.
Yeah.
I'm glad I caught it now. Thank you, everyone, for...
Yep, thanks.
Aside...
Very, very last minute, we couldn't...
Oh, now there's a...
Termite couldn't get his son to bed. very quickly.
Oh, that was the least of my concerns. Right before this stream went live, I walk into my responsibilities for this evening were to put the baby. So everyone cares about this. Was to put the baby to bed.
Totally.
And the baby's easy to go to bed. His room was fine. I go into my older son's room, and we have these air conditions that are mini splits, the little things on the wall. And it's Penguin is a bit quiet, but they can hear him. Okay, we'll go up a little more.
Right, I'll just get my mic a lot closer.
And I can do this. So but I found water along the wall, and that was not fun. So I had to figure out why the air conditioning. Woo!
Am I loud now? How
Spicy.
about now? Oh, T-Bone, I'm just gonna talk like this the whole time. Don't you tell me I'm quiet, girl.
And so anyway, that was the concern, was like there's water dripping down my son's room, and the drywall is soaked, and there's all this, and it's actively leaking. So I was trying to troubleshoot that, figure out what the crap was going on, and that's what put me here 5 minutes before going live, which ruined our opportunity for a full test. Luckily, I had taken the time today to do a checkout on my own for my side of the tech, and that all seems to check out, and that's what saved us. So both my fault and my save.
I think that I like this better. I think the only thing that I can't do with this is look at this screen. So we'll see if it works out for me. And it's well, I could look around it. If I didn't have anything important on this screen, then it'd be okay. But if I'm playing D&D, I probably have important things on this screen. But maybe if I just go down a little bit more, then I could see my screen, tilt my mic up a bit. It's probably scratching. Everyone's like, "What?"
What had happened
that
was
weird mic where I have to talk into the top of it, right? Because it's a singer's mic. So that's actually bad. I just it's obscuring a little bit of my view, but whatever you gotta do.
I had another thought. Can you dismount?
You do. You still got you've still got
got plenty of time.
10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. Yeah.
I thought I was doing an hour, and you're doing an hour. 2 hours.
No, it's 30 minutes, and then we got some free time. Some go
cool.
wild time.
All right. Awesome. Okay, you didn't dismount, but you are in battle. So if you're watching the video, you can see a battle happening, a 2 versus 1. At any point, another Graveler could suddenly show up and attack him, and that's kind of scary if you weren't over-leveled and type advantaged.
I'm quite over-leveled for this.
Yeah, you are. You're 10 levels overdone. So all your Pokemon level up together every time you fight. It's very, very... The quality of life... Quality of life. Yes, there's so much fun, convenient things about this game that make it very, very easy to traverse and easy to level up. And it does kind of move some of the complication of having 6 Pokemon all doing different things. And I can't think of them until you use them and do them, because all those thoughts escape me all the time. What is this music? That was really cool.
But
what was that?
I saw it, and there was a little music icon over my reticle.
What was that all about? That was amazing.
I don't know.
Rock.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, so when your Pokemon level up, in the old games, it would pause and show you the stat increases, and you'd be okay, and it would kind of be smashing A to get through it. In this game, they level up, and you can see a little marker on the side, and they just move on. If a Pokemon needs to evolve, it doesn't interrupt the flow of what you're doing to show you the evolution. It just says, is ready to evolve, and it leaves it up to the player to go into the menu and activate the evolution. So you don't have to worry about canceling the evolution every single time if you're trying to preserve your base Pokemon and not evolve them. So that's really nice. And if your Pokemon learn moves, the move management for Pokemon in this game is awesome, and I hope they never change it. When Pokemon learn, you can have 4 moves, and you used to have to just forget them. Now, they learn all of these moves, and they don't interrupt you when that happens, and they just queue them up. And you can look through all of the moves that they have learned, and you can choose which 4 you want to put in at any time, from anywhere. You don't have to go talk to a move trainer, or move learner. Yes, there's still TMs and HM. I don't know if there's HMs. I don't think there's HMs anymore. Because you have Pokemon mounts to replace HMs. So you still have TMs, technical machines, you can train your Pokemon to learn specific moves. So that's really quiet. I love quiet. That's not quiet. It is quiet because it doesn't interrupt you. So that's really nice. Excuse me. And I hope that feature pushes forward to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as well. Let's see. What else can I talk about? I talked about sound. I love the sound. I talked about the design, the artistic design. It is pretty. I talked about the mechanics. The frame rate's acceptable, and the graphics are subpar, but fine. I'm trying to think what other aspects of this game. Is it Pokemon to its core? It's something completely different than we've ever gotten. I think it's innovative. I do like that. Overall, like, great game. Absolutely amazing game. A breath of fresh air in Pokemon. Way better than Sword and Shield. I thought Sword and Shield were fine. I beat Sword. I finished the game. I was kind of done. I bought the DLC expecting to want to get back to it, but never found myself to do so. It's just more of the kind of the same. I've been playing Pokemon since '96 when Red and Blue came out. And my favorite Pokemon generation is Gen 2. And my second favorite generation might be Diamond and Pearl. I also love Ruby and Sapphire, and those remakes are awesome. So all of these generations, every remake, just all the Pokemon, it's all the same. You go through the 8 gyms, there's some team battles going on, and then here comes this game. Pokemon Legends Arceus, a fully explorable world, more complex interactions, strong style. There you go. Glad you did that. I can explain this battle mechanic. So you can choose at any point to execute
skunk tank.
Once a Pokemon masters a move, you can then use Agile or Strong style. Agile will weaken its attack and allow you to attack faster. And there's a turn order on the right-hand side of the screen. Did I mention that some of the UI elements are complicated? Because that's that. Or you can choose Strong style, where you forego some of your turns and you do a really strong version of that attack. And that can help you tactically in your strategy and how you want to approach the fight. If you have a good type advantage and you're under-leveled, you can say, I'm going to do this Strong style and try and just knock out the Pokemon before it has a chance to kill you. So that's kind of cool. Customization, you can change your character's outfit. There's a lot of customization options. You can be male or female when you create your character, and then you can just deck them out with all kinds of things. There's a whole crafting thing happening. You can collect tons of materials in the world. You can use your Pokemon to blow up like piles of rocks, piles of hay. You can shake trees. You can collect all these stuff. And I kind of get lost in the weeds of that. Like, I was trained out of the loot game by Witcher 3. I just stopped caring about looting everything. And I find that if I just loot things as I come across them, I have the materials that I need to create the things that I need when I need them. So I just kind of let the game tell me what's around. I don't really go grinding or hunting for specific materials unless I really need something specific. T-Bone drops in chat, I wonder if Strong Style was inspired from Japanese professional wrestlers. They are known for using that style. Probably. I mean, everything about this game stylistically is set in feudal Japan. It's from a Japanese company, and it's set in a pseudo-Japanese world. So it makes sense that that's exactly what it would be. I don't know anything about...
Japan on Japan.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Japanese professional wrestlers, but... Yeah, you have some weird music going on, again.
I do. Look at that.
It slaps. I like it. Did I say I like the music?
Jazz.
Yeah.
Pokey jazz.
I
love it. What is...
Yeah.
I don't even know what I did, but I'm so into this.
So there's also, if you dismount and you don't fight, there's a way you can scroll through the items in your inventory by pressing. Usually it's above the Pokemon. How do you do that?
What do you want me to do?
Like when you can choose your Pokeballs, you can choose to throw food.
Yeah,
Where's that?
I was doing that earlier. Hold on, I gotta fight this Geodude.
Hey, look at you. You were just grinding for days. So
I'm doing something where I don't have to pay attention. That's what
right? Yeah. If you. Well, you should be paying attention because you're not talking.
No, I'm paying attention to you, not paying attention to the game.
I got you.
You're more interesting than the game to me is right now.
Oh, whoa. Oh, okay, I'll take it.
I mean, I like the game. I'm just not.
Yeah.
My point is, never mind. Forget it.
I got you. I understand.
I'll just stop talking.
It's fine.
No, I'm done. I'm not even gonna talk to you anymore. Okay. Okay.
Wow, that went.
Items.
There you go. Yeah, so you can scroll through the items. You got some berries, mushrooms. You got some honeycombs and great balls and all the things. Again, quality of life. There's a button you hold, and you can cycle through all your items without having to press press pause, go into a menu, pick the item you want to use. So this game does a lot to help the player just keep going, just keep playing, keep moving. It does little to interrupt you, and that is wonderful given the complex nature of everything that's going on. Maybe I'm just an old fogey and think that there's too much, but I enjoy it. So I am past 30 minutes, or I'm right at my 30 minutes, and I feel like I'm just rambling
we started
now.
late. You're good.
Okay.
Keep going. I mean, unless you want to stop, I can go.
I'm trying to think of any final thoughts. Overall, like if I had to give this game a rating, I would say that it's an 8 out of 10. I think it's solid enough. Its performance issues are probably the biggest as far as like bringing things down. The personal preferences of like the complexity of everything going on. I kind of get overwhelmed by all the stuff, all the crafting materials, and all the ways to handle the Pokemon and the way the Pokedex works and all the Pokemon missions that you do. That's just me being like, it makes for a great game. The mechanics and the story and the setting all like mold together really well. And it's a lot of fun to play. Every time I do sit down with this game, I'm like, why don't I play this more? And then I play, and then I get interrupted by life and other games and trying to cover different things, and then I forget to come back. But every time I come back, I'm like, ooh, I want to stay here for hours. The world is fun to be in. There's enough difference in the biomes, which I haven't explored the snow area yet, but I want to. It looks like you're in like a fire swamp with like dead trees, and there's like lush woods.
Definitely
and like
swampy,
the
and there's
field lands.
lots of poison a-holes around here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to see this like continue as a franchise, or what elements of this do you want to see? I know you kind of hit on it, but what elements do you want to see in the like main franchise too?
So we saw the Scarlet and Violet trailers today, and they did not show as much of the real-time action that this game has. It looks like it's still very turn-based. So I hope there are all of the things, the quality of life improvements in this game can be moved forward in the mainline series. And that is like the way level ups work and the way moves get trained. I love that this doesn't interrupt you. I also love the mounts and that they don't have HMs to do all of the things like Rock Smash and Flash and Cut and Fly and Surf. Like those things should not occupy Pokemon movesets unless you want them to. So I hope that translates to the mainline series. But I think what you were getting at is, do I want another Pokemon Legends game? Absolutely. Give me an ancient Kanto region, an ancient Johto region. Like, let's go back through all of the old regions at the same time this game is happening and show us what the world is like. But maybe that gets exhausting and it's like rehashing the same thing over again, so it's not super innovative. Maybe a Pokemon Snap set in this ancient world where you have like an old camera with the pull cord that has the fireworks. It goes pow and scares the Pokemon. It's like super hard to document. I don't know. So I think the Pokemon Legends can be a spin-off, and it can be fun and it can be good with its own entries and not really affect the generational leap that is kind of what... There's a lot of stakes there. Like the next generation of Pokemon, we're adding new Pokemon to the mix, or maybe we add a new type. Pokemon Legends doesn't do any of that. There's nothing new as far as like new species of Pokemon or new types. We're not getting a new dark type or new fairy type like we did in the past. And so I think it's fun to explore without those stakes. It's like, let's just take a different timeline, different aspect of Pokemon that we already have and innovate on that and present it in a new way. So I hope they keep doing that. Maybe they go in the future. Pokemon Legends Doxius. Deoxys, which is a different weird DNA like Pokemon that's kind of weird sci-fi, like futuristic, and like maybe it's eons in the future on like, well, I don't know, the Sword and Shield. I forget the name of that land.
Galeria or whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
Galar,
Good pull.
Galar region.
Yeah, or maybe we go back to the Alola region because it's Hawaii and it's gorgeous. That'd be kind of fun. So yeah, there's all kind of ways you could go with this. I hope the Pokemon Legends.
Pokemon Legends is dark souling me right now.
Yeah, it is. I hope the Pokemon Legends moniker like continues on with new entries and whatever. Game Freak made this. I guess Game Freak is also making Scarlet and Violet, so they're very prolific. I don't know how they can churn out these games. I do believe that if this is the Breath of the Wild engine, which I really do think it is,
a lot of money as one of the highest grossing franchises of all time.
Yeah, what was it, 90 billion total sales?
Something ridiculous, yeah, for the entire Pokemon franchise.
Yeah, it's an insane amount of money that they've made.
All the games and spin-off games and everything, but still, it's an insane amount of...
Yeah, it is. So, totally fresh, new take on Pokemon. I love it. I'm here for it. Like I said, 8 out of 10. If you haven't played this game, I recommend it. It's chill. It's got that. But it's also scary because Pokemon are violent and aggressive. Maybe there you go. What is that? Yeah.
Look at that thing. That's so creepy. I love it. I want it. It's mine. It's gonna be my new favorite Pokemon.
Are you gonna catch it though? If you catch it, nickname it Conquer, please. Can you name it Conquer because it looks like a squirrel? Oh no, he said screw that. Oh, and you attracted the attention of a Ghastly. So there you go. Now you're fighting a Ghastly and this ridiculously strong Pokemon.
Alpha
it's a Pachirisu.
What is it? Pachirisu?
Pachirisu. That's probably how you say it. I think you're right. So those who are listening, you know what a Pachirisu is. Ghastly also in the mix. The Pachirisu.
How is ground strong against
Ghost?
Ghost, yeah. Like what?
I don't know.
What's the logic there? Why is it?
Well, all of Pokemon moves are divided between physical or special, and ghosts are completely invincible to physical moves. Like, in theory, you go through it. Like, it's a punch, right? A physical move is like a punch. So you can't punch a ghost, you're going to go through it. But it's not immune to special attacks, so something like fire, water, grass. So I guess the ground-type move that you used was categorized as a special move, like a magic, like a ground magic type move. And so you just wrecked him. Good job. I also think you just over-leveled, because I think that Ghastly was like 20.
It was super effective. It's that ground attack.
Oh, did it really?
I think it's because, like, ghosts can't touch the ground, right? Or they go
but flying
back to
type,
the grave.
Flying type super effective against ground.
Yeah, because they fly over the ground. The ground can't reach them. The ground attacks. Right. They're like all earthquakes. And
but
stuff.
Somehow ghosts that can fly are. I don't understand what's going on. How do you super effectively kill? I don't know what's going on. But you just
paralyzed.
Oh, you actually have a Wardeer in your party. Interesting.
I do. I leveled him. I got him. I did it myself.
That's pretty sweet. Whoa.
Oh man, this Pachirisu is kicking my bootang.
I know this is not fun for the audio listeners. I apologize, but there is an epic fight going on. For the audio listeners, like if you're not watching us do this and you're just listening to our bonus podcast review episode, you're like, oh, there's this cool Pokemon battle. I can't, and I'm doing a terrible job at commentating. What do you like? Calling the match? Yeah. Your Toxicroak is doing a poison jab on the Pachirisu, and you killed it. And now Yep, the old classic Pokemon trope. I killed it. Dang it. I wanted that. Look how cool Haunter looks. He's floating around in the field in a gloomy, like foggy, rainy bog. It's awesome. This game's cool. It's awesome. I like this game.
It is a cool game. It's a good game.
Yeah.
I like this game. Me too. It's good.
You want to switch? You want to take turns?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just... I
don't know what else to say. I think I'm rambling now. Candy. I'm just going on and on.
Can I use experience candy on a Pokemon? Oh, I can. Look at that.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, and it resurrects it too. Sweet.
Oh, because you resurrected a Pokemon by leveling it up with rare candy?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So there you go, folks. You just learned something new. In Pokemon Legends, you can resurrect
that in old
Pokemon
games too?
I've never tried it, ever, in the history of my entire life. I'm a 35-year-old man, has been playing Pokemon for over 20 years, and I've never tried to use a rare candy on a dead Pokemon. So kudos to you for trying.
Haunter.
Get it. Get that Haunter.
Gonna.
And again, the music, like
it teleported away. Okay.
Oh, it teleported right on top of you. Oh, nope, you made it mad. You ticked it off. Now you gotta fight it. Now you gotta fight it.
Get it.
See, there's that tension that it creates. Like, the music calms down, and, like, it gets you in the atmosphere and in the vibe, and then Haunter, some Pokemon, like, behave weirdly, and Haunter did a teleport, so he, like, disappeared, and we thought we aggroed it, but it didn't. And then it appeared right in front of Penguin, and it did get aggro at that point, and now they're having a Pokemon fight. And it's something totally unique. Like, before it would just be a random encounter, and then, like, you just fight them. Like, so this is so much more real. Like, it brings that realism kind of factor to what Pokemon would actually be like, and if Pokemon were real. Like, everyone's childhood dream who loved Pokemon was like, oh, I wish I could go out and find a Pikachu in my woods. That'd be awesome. And here it is. Like, you can kind of... I would have lost my mind if Pokemon was like this.
Pokemon feeling. Exactly. That's the Pokemon feeling we'd all wanted for so long, and we were happy with what we had for a long time, but see, now I'm expecting it. Okay. But it's cool to finally kind of realize that dream we all had about Pokemon, forever ago. I just stuck up on that Haunter and caught it because I got a stealth sneak catch thing.
Perfect.
Okay, I didn't realize I had got one at night. Oh man, so much research is being done.
Yeah, so there you go. Going back to the Pokedex entry, right? You're at night now, so you caught a Haunter from stealth at night, and those counted as different objectives towards the entry for Haunters, specifically in your Pokedex. And when those entries total 10, it's then marked as complete. Unlike the old games where like...
I'm like I don't know. I learned something about myself from video games, and that is you give me like a bunch of arbitrary chores, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna complete all those effing chores.
I'm doing that.
Which I never would have thought about myself ever.
Is that why you're a trophy hunter too, like me?
Maybe it's something. Maybe that has something to do with it. But at the end of the day, it's something that I didn't really realize I liked to do, and this game kind of made me realize it. Well, this game and other games, of course, but this game like reinforced that that's something I like. Yeah, because a lot of people complained about that, like all those arbitrary chores. I'm sitting here being like, oh yeah, I caught a hunter at night. Yeah.
And the chores coming from the Pokedex, though, right? Is that what you're talking about? Because you don't have to do this. Yeah,
it's not from the story stuff. Yeah.
Yep. There was also the map. There's the map. Like if you bring up the map, it's very much like Breath of the Wild. You can set markers and waypoints for yourself, and you can. So if you see a Pokemon that's there and you're like, oh, I can't catch it right now, you can just mark that. So in your own head, you know, oh, there's some Pokemon are rare, and there's one of them there. I keep using Pikachu as a reference because I did this extensively. It took me forever to get a Pikachu, but I looked online, like Pikachu is in this one specific spot, and it'll spawn there. So I marked it on my map, and you can use that as like a, hey, you fast traveled. Fast traveling is a quality of life awesomeness with this game. With all open worlds, can you fast travel very easily? Yes, you can. Fast travel back to your camp at any time, and there's waypoints across the map that you can fast travel to as you go, and yeah, so I love that aspect of this game too. There's lots to like. There's very little to critique. Complexity and performance is pretty much the only critiques I've got here.
I want to find my.
What are you doing?
Place where I can sleep. Where can I sleep? I want to sleep.
One of these people I thought would heal your Pokemon, right?
Yeah, you can talk to someone, and I don't think I've ever been to this village before, so I don't know where I can. Take a bunk.
T-Bone says, yeah, this is the Pokemon game I would have dreamed of as a kid. I always used to imagine what it would be like in 3D before Stadium came out. Yeah, Pokemon Stadium was like the first time we ever saw a 3D rendered Pokemon in fully animated form. And like, oh, this is amazing. But all you can do is fight. I want this full open... This is the Breath of the Wild Pokemon everybody was wanting, right? That's what they wanted Sword and Shield to be. Big open world. Breath of the Wild Pokemon. That's what everyone said over and over again.
Should have been, but that's a.
But I like that they still like stood true to their form as far as the next generation with Sword and Shield, and that they use this Pokemon Legends as like a side shoot. I love that. Yeah, and same looks like Scarlet and Violet is going to do that. So
30 minutes. So if you're ready to
take over,
then we can do that, and I can do my
here we
review
go.
Of it. Let me gonna go back to.
I will. You just say the the word, and I will click.
Yeah, go ahead.
The new scene. Go ahead.
Boom.
Yeah, now we're at the title screen. We are looking at Termite's Switch, and I have no. It's been so long since I've played that I don't remember where I left off.
With me too. I was like, oh man.
We'll find out.
So yeah, Arceus. So let me do my thing.
Do your thing.
Yeah, so I broke it up into different bits. You've already talked about the gameplay. You talked a lot about all the kind of new things with this game. It's very much a really good mixture of old with new, right? Like, you said this. I mean, we were going to bring up the Breath of the Wild comparison because it's apt. This game was designed with the Breath of the Wild engine, so unlike other Pokemon games. But it's apt, right? In the sense, I think the biggest thing that they get right is the familiar blended with new elements, right? Like, it still feels entirely like a Pokemon game, an entire Pokemon experience from beginning to end, but it has all the new features, the new experimental features that really make it compelling. So, obviously, you talked about open world, stealth, crafting, mounts, exploration, and gathering, and all that stuff. So that the gameplay is kind of solid in that regard. You also talked about the aesthetics. I said I was surprised at how much I didn't mind the aesthetics. There was a lot of bad press before it came out about how the leaked images looked so bad, and the screenshots and the trailers and everything. They were comparing it to other games running on similar hardware. Well, Breath of the Wild, actually, they compared it, a game designed with the same engine on the same hardware that came out 3 years earlier, looks better, runs better, plays better. than this game. So there was definitely a lot of criticism, a lot of bad press for that. But I was still genuinely surprised. I was still genuinely like, okay, this doesn't look as bad. I saw some arguments too about how if you look at all of the different animations that they had to design for Breath of the Wild, it's like 23, 24 something enemies total, right? And then factor in the NPCs, all the humans can use the same skeleton pretty much. And then Link's animation, unique animations. All in all, you have something like, people did the math, and it was something like 100, 200 unique animations. Whereas in this game, they've got, 150, 100 something Pokemon.
More than that. That's a lot.
And there's a bunch of new animations that aren't in the original games. A lot of the combat animations people tracked were the same, but there were still like 2 or 3 unique animations because they had to have like crouch animations and sleep animations and like sprinting animations and attack animations for when they're attacking the player, not the other Pokemon, which is different. Like, people did the math, and it's like an insane amount of like animation work that they did in this game. So like, credit where credit's due, that work pays off, because it definitely feels like, could they have gone further? Yes, but that said, like, they had a lot of work ahead of them. So like, I also like how a lot of people complained about the muted colors. Like, if you look around the color, well, you're in an area where it's like bright and colorful, but like there are some times when the light makes it look less colorful. But some people pointed out how it's very much the aesthetics of like a Japanese oil painting. Breath of the Wild looked more like a painting you'd see in, like, Breath of the Wild I think was compared to a painting as well, but it was like a painting that you could see anywhere, whereas this looks very much like that Japanese samurai style. Like, everything, like, it looks a little flatter, and that if I had a reference image, I would pull it up. But like, go look at like Japanese like medieval paintings, and I think that that's what they were trying to go for, especially considering the medieval look, right? The medieval style that they're going for, which I liked a lot as well. I like the creativity of like, how would we take this technology and make it like nascent, right? Like, what does a nascent Pokeball look like? And I loved the firework as opposed to
the little like
the like technology. Yeah, the only downside was they like didn't go far enough, I think, in some regards. Like, you literally get handed a like cell phone, and that's your like, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? Like, they've got a camera that looks like it could be ripped right out of like the 90s, and then they've got like basically a cell phone. I know Arceus gives you the cell phone, and so it's okay because he's like a time god, so like, that's forgivable, but I was annoyed at some of the anachronisms. And like, he's like wearing a lab coat, which is so like, the first person you see is like a professor in a lab coat, and it's like a little bit anachronistic, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be. It's Pokemon. It doesn't need to be like historically accurate to it's not going to be historically accurate to medieval Japan, but I still found that a little bit disappointing. It's like, I don't know what the line is. Like, what's the line of like, okay, this is clearly fantastical and that's okay, versus like, I feel like they could have been more creative with the professor's clothing, right? So I digress. I do feel like I wanted more. Well, so the frame rate, I think you had hit on the frame rate is like problematic sometimes. And I agree, though, yet at the same time, I think it's only because I'm mostly spoiled from PlayStation 5 at this point. So I don't think this frame rate would have bothered me back in 2017, like when the Switch came out. In fact, I guarantee you, if I were to go play Breath of the Wild right now, I would feel differently about the frame rate than I did in 2017 when it came out, right? Yeah. I haven't actually really touched it since then, and I think that it's going to be a little bit disillusioning when a little bit of disillusionment when the sequel comes out, because of just how ancient this hardware feels now. I do feel like I wanted more customizations. I was actually like a little bit. At first I was surprised at how much customization you could do for your character with the clothing. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I love this system. And then realization dawned on me that a lot of it was just reskin, like recolors of the same.
Did you know that you can like craft more and unlock more as you go?
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, that's part of my critique comes from the fact that I haven't finished the game. So maybe I just haven't gotten far enough, and that's okay. I accept that. as a valid criticism of my criticism. But I don't know. I was hoping for more. I thought it would also have been fun to like. I've always thought it would be really fun to customize your Pokemon as well, like unlock customizations. Like instead of like rare shinies, like I feel like we should be able to earn and work towards Pokemon customizations. And I didn't realize I wanted that until I played this game. Like in the other games, you pick your look and you're kind of stuck with your look for the whole game. This one, you're like, you can change your look throughout, and that's made me want to do that for my Pokemon, right? Like I wanted to unlock gear, right? Like make my Pokemon look different than the Pokemon in the world, right? Like I want to get a like cool like saddles for my mounted Pokemon, like my Wardeer and my Rapidash and stuff, right? Or like battle armor and stuff. Like that would have been really cool, especially with the Japanese vibe, right? You could have done a lot with like that samurai inspired armor and like ninja clothes for Pikachu and stuff. Like I just the visuals are good, but they could have gone farther with it, is what I'm saying. I feel like they're already experimenting in this game, so like they could have. And I know that I just said there were like a million Pokemon, and so like designing different clothing to fit them all would have been a lot. I understand, but maybe just some of them then, right? I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, that's about aesthetics. The story is definitely the weakest part. I just care nothing about the story. I think that they drop so I got a bad taste in my mouth from the beginning because they drop you in and then just like tutorial you for like, I'm pretty sure when I got the game, my first like few play sessions with the game were just tutorials. Like two, I would say like at least 2 full play sessions of like me playing as much as I could the game were all freaking tutorials, and I was like, stop, I want to play the actual game, and you keep trying to teach me crap, and I don't care to learn it anymore. So I would have rather them let you peel it back like an onion. I know there were a lot of systems to cover, but like I know I'm gonna, again, like shoot me every time I say From Software, but like From Software I think has proven that you can just have systems and people can discover them on their own, and that's not bad, right? Like, and I don't think Pokemon should be scared of that, because I think that Pokemon, like, they could put tutorials like either like optional tutorials they could turn on, like you could turn on, or like I feel like Zelda and From Software have done this really well, where they like leave tutorials in like obvious places for you to find them in the world and like follow them if you want to, right? Like otherwise just discover it yourself. Why not? And I feel like that goes just like should have been tied into the story, right? Like Breath of the Wild did such a great job of like, you wake up, you're in this world, and you have to peel it back and figure like solve the mystery of what's going on. And like that would have been so much cooler for Arceus if they had just like, Arceus, the story is something along the line, spoilers, the story is like you're from the future, you're from like the normal timeline of Pokemon, and you get like dropped in the past because Arceus is a time god and he like summons you here. So how much cooler would that have been if they had just like dropped you off in the middle of the like hostile world with like 20 Pokeballs, and then you had to like, the very first Pokemon you run across is like the 3 starters, and you have to go chase one. And the reason you can't catch them all is because you can only chase down, like they all go in opposite directions, and you have to chase one. And then from there you just catch Pokemon until you find the first town. Like, and then they explain everything, and then they kind of slowly work you into the story. I feel like that would have just been a stronger start and more. Number one, it would have been a nice break from the Pokemon norm. And number 2, it would have been in the same spirit of Breath of the Wild, which this game is really trying to channel. You could tell. I mean, yeah, there's so many reasons why this game is trying to channel that. So I'll probably circle back around to that. But yeah, how does I then want to talk about how this fits in with the rest of the developers' repertoire. Kind of did this with Elden Ring. I do think it is a bold step forward for Game Freak. Like I said, they did a great job of blending the new with the old. And I definitely like how they're using this game to prototype, hopefully, future features that they can include in other games. Not necessarily just the mainline games, but other games. And yeah, so my praise for this game is this is probably the most hooked I'd been on a Pokemon game in a long time. Like I said, this game only suffered in my mind from the fact that it came out a month and a half before Elden Ring. And then once Elden Ring came out, it was done. It was done for the rest of the year for me. Everything else pales in comparison. But had this game come out when Shield came out, I would have probably played it a lot longer than I played Shield. So yeah. That's a big, I think that's a big deal because Shield, I loved Shield, but Shield lost me so fast. So and this game, yes, technically the same thing. It lost me fast, but it lost me because other games came out, not because I got bored of it inherently.
So you also agree with the like whenever you're playing it, you're like, man, I want to play this more. This is so good.
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna want to. I would like not necessarily dread playing the game, but like I would think about my evening and I'd be like, ugh, I guess I'll play Pokemon. And then I would play it and it would be like midnight and I'd be like, I gotta turn this thing off. Like it's so addictive to play. Like it's so addictive moment to moment when you're in it, doing it. Like everything is so very compelling. And so yeah, it's just funny that like I would still think like, I don't really need to do this. I don't really like, I'm not really feeling drawn to this is what I should say. And then suddenly I'm like, okay, never mind, I'm into it. Like halfway through a play session. So I'll say that a lot of my praise, other than I do think I agree with you with some of the menu complication, but like I'm not that much of a stranger to menu complication. A lot of games I adore have menu complication. And is it annoying? Sure. But is it tolerable? Yeah. Pretty much all the other new elements, though, I found engaging. Even, like I said, the criticized ones like the research tasks. I was like, a lot of people criticize the research tasks. I'm sitting there being like, how many Psyducks can I catch? You'll never know. Actually, you will, because I'm going to catch every single Psyduck I run across just because I can get rewarded. I can get minimal rewards from it.
Yeah.
So I love that. I did like that aspect of it, not going to lie. You know, again, obviously, you know, say it over and over again. The open world, the stealth, like stealth catching Pokemon, the ability to just chuck a Pokeball at them and catch them without having to fight them every single time. Amazing. I loved the alphas. I loved that they were huge. I love that when you catch them, you're rewarded by having a giant Pokemon. I was like, I want every single Pokemon alphas version. Give me the big old boys. I was like, I'm sitting there like all the other tiny versions of these Pokemon are weak sauce. I want alphas. I want my whole team to be giant alphas, except for my starting Pokemon, because I imagine you can't get an alpha Decidueye. Although if you can, I want to know, and
that'd be awesome.
Go get one.
So you start with Outlet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Of the starting Pokemon in this game, like it was no question, Rowlet, easy, right? Like
no, Cyndaquil, baby. Look at this type.
You're just a you're a fire. You're a fire. You're
look at him.
You're a
he's so cool.
Word for a
yeah, that's my baby. Look at him. He's my buddy. He's a good boy.
That's so dumb looking. It looks like a
it's a standing up dog cat. Dog cat.
Like a dog cat that like
he doesn't have his fire. Like when he's mad, he like enrages and he's like, and like fire comes out of his back and he's awesome.
That dog hit every ugly branch on the ugly.
Decidueye was my choice for sword. Was it Sword and Shield? Was that what he's the starter of? Outlet?
No, he was
I always mix up all of my generation.
The Hawaii one, I think.
Oh yeah. Whichever one he was in, I picked him. He was awesome.
I do prefer his old typing though. I prefer Ghost Grass is like I typically don't like grass Pokemon, but Ghost Grass is the coolest combination.
What is he in
this
this one?
Right, like he's ghost fighting, which I feel like.
Oh really?
He does look like a samurai now. Like he's got the cool like Ronin hat, and he has a really cool moveset. I like his moveset a lot. But grass fighting is not nearly as cool as grass ghost. Like, and he had that whole Robin Hood vibe going from him. That now it's more like a wandering Ronin, which is also cool. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm like grass. I think still could have done it with grass ghost and kept it. I know that they were trying to like switch up the types though. So now Typhlosion is the ghost fire, which I will admit is pretty cool, but Typhlosion is kind of lame. I think. Personally, I don't like his look. I don't like the base look of it. I don't like that half the fire Pokemon in these games are like look really lame when they don't have their fire turned on. Like, have you ever done like the Moltres? Have you seen the Moltres without the fire? He looks like a rubber chicken, like a yellow. Oh, he looks like a yellow rubber chicken. Moltres is
awful.
Super lame, and I feel like that's true with most fire Pokemon. Charmander is really cute, and I feel like they peaked. I feel like fire Pokemon peaked in Gen 1. Whereas like grass Pokemon and water Pokemon have only gotten like cooler. Hit or miss. For the most part, they've gotten cooler over the years.
Look at that derpy looking alpha. What is this?
Fire Pokemon peaked. What you got? What you got?
This alpha Pokemon. What is this thing?
I don't see.
You can't see our stream?
You saw that from all the way over there? No, I see
I'm
it.
right next to it.
There's a wall. Oh, walrus.
It's a walrus.
Yeah,
It's a derpy looking thing.
Yeah, because mine is delayed. I'm seeing what
that's right.
the fans are seeing. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways,
I don't remember how to play. Here we go. Okay.
I know. Yeah. So that was my praise of the.
There he is.
Game.
Look at him with his fire. Look at him. Look at Typhlosion. Ow, you just got wrecked.
I can't see it. I can't see it because I'm delayed.
All right. Yeah. Well, you just died in one shot because that happened.
Because ice beats fire, right? Which you think it's the other way around. You think they neutralize each other. Anyways, so as much as I have praise for all the new elements, my criticisms are almost all related to all the old elements, right? Like Pokemon still has the same old hang-ups. There's where you were like, oh, they can play with all the existing Pokemon. I'm sitting here like there's far too few new Pokemon, right? Like this is
there's like 800 different species. They don't need any more.
No,
just hang out.
They
800. I can't even like.
Right? That's the
so
problem.
much.
No, you're right because they got so much criticism for not being able to do not being able to import all your Pokemon in Sword and Shield. But like, you're right. Let's be realistic. There's the Pokedex has gotten so bloated that Game Freak can't keep up with all the work they'd have to do to import all those Pokemon. I get that. That's a self-made problem.
Yep. It is.
Like I've been saying for a long time, let's reboot all the Pokemon. Let's do no more of the same old Pokemon. Like let's make a whole new batch of Pokemon. And what a great game they could have done this. Like imagine instead of just a bunch of old Pokemon, what if they were all ancient versions of like the Pokemon that we do have, right? Like what does an ancient Pikachu look like? What does an ancient Walrein look like? What does an ancient Hunter look like? And not like just reskinning them. I mean like a completely new like Pokemon. That would have been cool. So I get where people criticize Game Freak. You know, the argument is, well, development time would have been longer because they would have had to start from scratch. I'm like, yes. So, right? Like, start from scratch, like every other video game developer when they're like reimagining a franchise. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just that Pokemon has been able to really just sort of skate by on its old assets forever, as you mentioned, or as people mentioned with the sound and the animations. And so, anyways, that is just definitely a aspect of criticism. Like I mentioned again, criticism. The story was awful. It's fine when you're like in the middle of it, like where I was at now, and like you said, trying to like the like boss Pokemon. That was fine. But I'm so disengaged from the beginning because of the stupid tutorials taking forever and like being so meaningless. Like so meaningless. And Pokemon really falls back on some like just unfortunate tropes of the genre. I do understand before people start yelling at me, the games are designed for kids. I get it. I'm not expecting like God of War style storytelling from Pokemon. I'm not expecting Senua's Sacrifice. Thank you. Shane likes sharks. Shan likes sharks. Says the cutscenes are entirely too long. I agree. Like, but anyways, I'm not expecting Senua's Sacrifice in Pokemon, right? Like, just beautiful, meaningful storytelling. But like, I don't know. I watch kids shows every day with my son, and I see much more variety in storytelling in like Go Dogs Go or Paw Patrol than I do in Pokemon. Like Pokemon is like freaking paint by numbers now at this point, storytelling wise. Like, here's your rival, but he's not a rival. You guys are like frenemies, but like not actually frenemies. You guys are best friends, and he's going to suck and get his butt kicked, and yet he's gonna like do it with a smile because he's always so positive. Oh, and here's the cool person that teaches you cool stuff. Oh, and here's the professor. They're like quirky but also knowledgeable. Oh, and here's the scantily clad lady whose body proportions are simultaneously absurd and also not attractive at all to an adult human being, because we're still making a game for kids, and they're gonna be quirky and funny and amusing. And you better not go to 4chan later, because there's going to be like tons of artwork of them that nobody should ever have to see. So that's Pokemon in a nutshell.
Hey.
Every single story. There's always a bad guy. They're doing bad things. They're corrupting Pokemon.
Stealing
And they're trying to
Pokemon,
summon.
doing bad stuff to the
There's
world.
There's
wrecking
almost
the
always
world.
like an evil legendary Pokemon, and then there's good legendary Pokemon that are stopping it. What happened to my chaotic neutral legendary Pokemon? Like there was Mewtwo in the original, and he was kind of bad, but also not. He's more like lawful evil.
This Walrein
like,
is
then...
driving me insane. It's not
you
catching
are
it.
your butt
He's paralyzed and weak, and I'm throwing balls at him, and he's not.
It's gonna get it. It's gonna get it. Oh. Anyways, so
Mewtwo,
and then like, but then you had the birds, right? The birds were all chaotic neutral for sure. It's like those Pokemon. Whenever like Sword and Shield disappointed me because it was like, oh, here are the like cool protectors of the Galarian region. We're gonna catch them, but like we're gonna catch them on their terms because they're gonna be cool with us. It's like the legendary Pokemon should be like the biggest, baddest dudes around, and it should be like a chore to catch them, but also an epic battle. I don't know, whatever. I'm digressing now. I was also, you know, this game was, they were doing so many new things. They were doing so much experimentation. I really think Pokemon needs an overhaul of the combat. Like Pokken Tournament is awesome. Like,
yes.
I mean, it's a game that's got its own problems. Yeah, you caught a Walrein. But like
that was so intense.
But the moveset, like the what they do with the moveset in the fighting game Pokken Tournament, like I thought was really fun. Like I only played it for a few minutes, but I was like, oh, this is cool. They like map each of the abilities to a different button, and then it's like real-time action combat with like an RPG twist. I was like, that would work so well in Pokemon. There's like, I can envision it and like describe it in like 2 sentences. It's just like you swap between your Pokemon. You have like a slow down mechanic like Final Fantasy VII Remake, and you still can access the menus, or you can shortcut the buttons to your bars, just like Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it would work so freaking well with the Pokemon format as well. So I was really hoping they could, like, I feel like Final Fantasy VII Remake should be the prototype for the move from turn-based to real-time combat, and like you could still run around as the trainer, and then as soon as you throw your Pokemon out, then you take over the Pokemon's body. Like that makes so much sense to me. It's what you're already effectively doing. You're in the turn-based games, but it's turn-based, right? So I don't know. Although I will say the ability to move around with your character while your Pokemon are battling was also, for someone who's ADHD like me, I was like, yay, now I can like jitter and jump and dodge neurotically while fighting Pokemon. So yeah, I feel like overall I can sum up my criticism as saying like everything I liked was the new stuff, and so I'm like, just let's inject some
Lots
new
of
DNA
new
in
stuff.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
And you know, because of the old like grind, I've been doing this Pokemon grind for pretty much longer than like half my life. It's been like 25 years of grinding Pokemon games over and over again, pretty much the same thing. So I'm ready for some change. Whenever I play Pokemon games, it's like I burn really bright and hot, and then I fizzle out. Like, and this game, admittedly for different reasons, but nevertheless, it's almost always the same thing. And then coming back to it is such a chore. Like I never got the DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield because I was like, ugh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go back to this. So that's a thing. So some improvements I want to see, other than the ones I've sort of mentioned in my criticisms. I agree with you. I don't think that this game necessarily needs to make it into the main line. Like, I don't think all of these elements need to make it into the main line. Obviously, some of the quality of life stuff would be great. I think the biggest thing, if I were to take one major feature of Arceus and put it into Red and Scarlet and Violet, is that what they are?
Yep.
I would do the stealth catching of Pokemon. Like, allow me to see that was, like, having to fight every Pokemon in the open world in the Galar. It's like, oh, they did the open areas, and you could see all the Pokemon before fighting them. That was cool. But, like, then I had to still fight them to catch them. I would have rather been able to do, like, in this game, where you can just distract them and catch the smaller, weaker ones. And then the bigger, harder ones, you never can distract them or do that with, right? That makes so much sense. So much sense. Obviously, if they do another entry in this franchise, I want to see more experimentation, more areas, more Pokemon. I want to see fewer tutorials. Obviously, as I mentioned, drop me in the world, let me explore. I would love to. One of the things I liked about this game was giving my Pokemon something to do outside of combat, right? They can gather for you. You can ride them. I want more of that. I want everything in this game to be augmented by the Pokemon, right? And I want to level those abilities up. Like, as I level up my Pokemon that I can mount, let them go faster, let them jump higher, let me be able to fly on the flying ones after they've reached max level and max strength. Let me be able to swim on the swim ones that can, once they've reached max strength. Like I think of the flight in Horizon Forbidden West, and like imagine doing that, but on like a Pidgeotto or a
I think you can do that in this game.
An Articuno. Can you? Maybe I just didn't get far enough.
Right.
But not just mounts, like stealth. Like allow me to get like let Pokemon cast like Haunter should be able to cast like a darkness spell on me, and it like or invisibility or something, right? Like the ghost I should be like take a spectral form and it should enhance my stealth. Or other like ninja Pokemon, right? Like Greninja, like should be able to like I should be able to like or he should be able to like swap places with me and then be a log, and then I'm behind the Pokemon and can catch them, right? Like stuff like that, where it'd be like their abilities should enhance my abilities to do stuff. Even fast travel, like make fast travel something you can only do after you caught an Abra, right? Because they can teleport. Just like tie all these things. Crafting, let me get like Pokemon that help me craft things better, or gather things better. Not just like every Pokemon can gather, but like some Pokemon gather better, or some Pokemon like you get bonuses to gathering, or can gather in big areas, or Pokemon can find nodes that you're looking for, right? Like you can tell a Pokemon, I want these items, you show it to them, they sniff it, and they go like find it for you.
That's
like,
what this Pokemon does that.
Does it?
Look at the little sonar.
Well, I can't
like, beep, 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 beep. You'll see
well,
in a sec.
All right, fine. Like, so, okay. I just didn't get far enough, you see, on some of that stuff.
You don't have this mount?
Nope, I don't have that one yet.
Oh.
That's cool. Well, there you go. Okay, so there's one thing. So more of that kind of stuff, right? Don't let it be tied to a mount, though. Make it so that I can send the Pokemon to go get stuff for me, to go gather for me, right? Like, yeah, exactly, yeah. There's always ways you can do it. Like, there should be Pokemon breeding. There should be Pokemon. I should be able to, like, some Pokemon should be able to, like, increase my social stats, right? Like, I've been playing a lot of D&D, obviously, right? So I'm thinking, like, there should be people that won't talk to you unless you have certain Pokemon. I know there's quests to get certain Pokemon, but there's people who already talk to you. Like, there should be entire quest lines that are barred from me because I don't have certain Pokemon yet that I have to talk to. And they're like, oh, wow, you're cool. You've got this. So,
T-Bone's talking smack in chat. He says, Termite fights level 50 champions. Penguin fights level 20 pups.
Yeah, I fought the skunk, dude. No, I fought
level
the
50?
alpha. It was level 45. So
oh, yeah. I got the level 50 walrus with the 80s perm.
You're also farther along. You're farther along than me, so.
That's true.
You know,
but my Pokemon are the same level as yours. Grindy McGrinderson.
You're sorry that I feel compelled to complete everything in the game. I guess I'm just more of a completionist than you.
Yeah, probably.
Says my trophy list.
Right? Yeah, let's go compare that. You want to go down that road?
Cool. All right. The other thing I would love is like loadouts, to be able to have like switch between loadouts easily.
Ooh, like
if I want.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, my Pokemon, like be able to pre-select Pokemon to be like boop. And in general, just being able to swap out Pokemon more easily. I was thinking like if they had a feature where what I hated was that you'd pull up your research list and you're like, oh cool, I've got this research, like I'm in an area where I could do this research really easily because now it's night. So let's say it's nighttime, and I've got to like beat a bunch of Pokemon at night or whatever but oh crap, that Pokemon's not in my list. Let me head all the way back to town, get my Pokemon, or at least like I think you can swap it out from the camp, but still you have to like fast travel to camp, then you have to run all the way back to where you were and hope that the conditions are still the same. It would be so much nicer to be able to go into your research menu and be like, ooh, I've got this task. Would you like to switch one of your Pokemon with this Pokemon right now where you are?
Yeah, because I caught that like level 50 thing, and I would love to get rid of this Float Soul that I have and put that new Pokemon I just caught right here. But I can't do that.
Right,
I have to fast travel back.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
So
that's what I'm working on.
And I don't know. I mean, they'd have to justify that in the story. I get it, but it would there's quality of life things. It's like they have so much quality of life in some areas, and then some areas it's so tedious and cumbersome. So, so I wanted to, with my last little bit of time, I want to address some of the controversies surrounding this game, right? Like, Pokemon fans are like Star Wars fans, I think, sometimes, where it's just like, oh, shut up.
Come on.
Like, you're overly invested in something that is not that big of a deal. And they get, and again, I do a video game podcast. I'm saying that as someone who does a freaking video game podcast. Like, we know that like none of this is that big of a deal. And I get passionate about things I get passionate about. I get it. But Pokemon fans, like Star Wars fans, are on a next level of toxicity regarding things. And it's just, it's sometimes tedious to go into those, like, spaces. Yep. Graphics really shouldn't be as big of a deal as they are to Pokemon fans. Like, I mean, like I said, I was disappointed in the graphics too, but like at the same time, they're fine, right?
Yep,
like
it works.
We always like I have just as much joy going back and playing Ocarina of Time, which, as we've mentioned before, it's like hot garbage. It looks like hot garbage now by today's standards. Like, I don't know. I waffle back and forth sometimes. Sometimes I'm like all about like graphics. Oh, it looks so good. And then other times I'm like, so what? It looks good. Like, the magic of that wears off 30 minutes into playing the game. And then, like, you see it for what it is, right? And maybe that's good. Maybe that's great. Maybe it's like, oh, wow, this game, you know, like Elden Ring. It's like, oh, the graphics look nice. They could be better, but the game is still incredible for what it is, right? Versus a game like Demon's Souls, where you're like, wow, the graphics are so beautiful. It's gorgeous. Also, it's sitting on top of a game that's like 11 years old at this point, and that age is starting to show with some of these features. So yeah, it's graphics. I don't know. I feel like this game really should not have been as controversial as it was just because of its graphics.
Yeah.
So, and that is a genuine criticism of like a lot of like people are pooping on. Or I've seen people poop on Forspoken because one of its trailers had a very specific screenshot that looked bad, and it was like, so what? The game's not even out yet, and they've got plenty of time to polish it up.
Is unique in that every single time they show off something new regarding it, it looks better. It's obvious. Like, I think it's weird because most games they show off footage and you're like, I get it, and then like it comes out and it's mostly what you saw. But this, like, Forspoken has changed so much since they first showed it off to now, and it's getting better and better and better every time. So, I will say,
well, there was like a curve, right? Like, Forspoken was like, when they first showed off, I mean, granted, all we saw was like tiny clips, most of which were probably cinematics, but nevertheless, like what we saw in the very, very first like teaser, back when it was still Project Athia, and it was like, oh wow, that looks beautiful. And then there was a trailer that came out later that was like, okay, the game looks good, but the the models of the characters,
something was off. It's like
PS4 gen. I think those are getting better though. I've seen, like, from what I've seen, the latest footage is looking better. So yeah, I mean, it's just it's a tough thing because developers have to really curate their footage of what they show. Like, they can't.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the more I've learned about the gaming industry, the more I've learned these timetables are really tight on these games. That's why crunch exists, and they get a lot done within the last month or so of month or two. So like when they're showing a game off like a year in advance, it's like, yeah, pardon it for looking kind of crappy. Like, it's still a work in progress. So anyways, so as much as I criticize the criticism of graphics, I will say that I do tend to land on the side of like Game Freak could be doing so much more than they are. I feel like Game Freak does not share Nintendo's values when it comes to innovation, right? You've always said that quote of like, the newest game should never, like, Nintendo always says the newest game should never feel like the game that came before it. Yep. Like, right? Like, there should always be something new we're trying, right? And they've really lived to that, right? You see that especially in the Zelda franchise, where the games have such wildly different mechanics between them while still maintaining that identity of Zelda games. I don't see that from Pokemon. I see minor, tiny risk each time. Tiny incremental risks, and never the big sweeping change. This game being a bit of an exception, probably the best exception, but still, it's just like, you guys, like, this game is proof of concept. You could do so much more while still maintaining the identity, and that is so much more in line with Nintendo's values. I just don't see that from Game Freak, and that is, I think that, like, I don't want to call them lazy because I feel like that's unfair, because I don't know how to make a video game myself, and so I can't really say whether someone's being lazy. But just from what I see compared to what the rest of both what Nintendo's doing internally and what the industry is doing externally, Game Freak strikes me more as like a Activision Blizzard EA kind of incremental, just get the next thing out so we can rake in the cash, as opposed to Nintendo's constant innovation and trying new things and taking huge risks and letting them fit themselves fail, and then picking themselves back up and kicking butt with the next, you know, and always seeking like, let's do something new and do it in the best quality. Like, I don't see that from Game Freak. I don't see that from Game Freak.
Yeah, it's like an
Mario
annualized
Odyssey and
franchise. There's always some Pokemon experience that comes out every year, whether it's a remake or a new entry or a spinoff. There's always something Pokemon related every year. You're right. Like, that's the Activision model. It's, let's keep pumping out Pokemon because it sells and it makes a lot of money.
And it's such a weird, for being so iconically Nintendo, it's so antithetical to what Nintendo has built, right? Like, I'm not saying that Nintendo absolutely does not distance themselves from Pokemon, but maybe they should. No, they shouldn't, because it's raking in cash. Like, who am I kidding? The game like rakes in cash.
It's synonymous with Nintendo.
It's just so weird, right? It seems so opposite their model. So whatever. That's my opinion. So that's
what's cool.
That's
like, side note about Nintendo, even their innovation comes with risk. Look at Star Fox Zero on the Wii U.
Yeah,
it was it was a critical flop. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love that game. I kind of want to play it again. But that's what they did. They had to innovate something. They couldn't just come out with Star Fox 64 2. They had to do something entirely different. And anyway, I digress. But that's Nintendo.
No, that's fine. I'm done. That was pretty much all of the notes I had. And I'll just sort of say and recap my thoughts. Overall, I did like this game a lot. I want to see more. I want to see them continue to push the boundaries, you know, kind of part and parcel of what I just said. I want to see them continue to push the boundaries, continue to take big risks with Pokemon, shake it all up, right? Like rip out. Pokemon is so stagnant right now that you could rip out the core of everything and redo it all, and that is, I think, the right direction, right? Like, not all of it, but rip out like much of what we would say is identifiably Pokemon, and just keep the core of catching mons, like, keep that childlike tone. I'm fine with the child. I'm not sitting here saying we need the gritty. We don't need Pikachu like with a cigar in his mouth, beating up punks to get like the information on the Poke terrorists, right? Like, we don't need that. We just need like that childlike tone can still be maintained. Catch Pokemon. Highly Japanese in its like cultural inspiration, and then just like, but like everything from like the Pokemon themselves to the combat to quality of life to objectives to story, like all of it. Let's rip it all out from the foundation and like start over. And that would be great. I think that would be great. I think that would be what Pokemon needs at this point. But it's not going to happen. I acknowledge that's a pipe dream. So for now, let's just get more. I will be eager to get more Pokemon Legends games in both the hardware we have now and whatever hardware we can get in the future.
Can you completely gut the game? Sorry, Shan, like Sharks. Can you completely gut the game and continue to have it be a child-friendly game?
I think so. I think there's no reason why not. I mean, we saw that tone is easy, right? Like, maintaining a tone of a game is easy. We see so many, like, so much variation in like kids stuff, right? I mean, just I'm not even talking about video games. I'm talking about kids stuff, right? Like, my son went from watching a show about dogs who rescue people to a show about dogs that like drive cars, and both shows feature the same premise and yet are wildly different in their tone, in their humor, in their animation. Like, it's the same premise and yet it's very different. And like it's a different experience. And yes, I apparently watch a lot of kids shows. You can let that say what it says about my parenting, but I don't think that like, I think that tone is the easy part, right? Like you don't, you know, I could take the exact opposite end of the spectrum and say like God of War 4 versus God of War 3. They both have that same very adult, very mature, very gritty, violent, aggressive, and yet God of War 4 changes everything else about the format of what God of War is, and yet still is identifiably a God of War game and still has similar themes, but is still like deeper and more interesting. Like what I'm saying when I say gut it out, I say get rid of all of the like frivolities of the story. Keep the childlike wonder, the childlike magic, and the childlike content, but like make it deeper and more interesting. Make it actually tell stories and themes that matter to kids, right? Like Gary dealing. There was more grit and realism in Pokemon Red and Blue than there has been in any other game since, because of one person, Gary Oak. Gary Oak is an a-hole and taught a generation.
We all had
of
a
kids
Gary Oak in our life.
We all had Gary Oaks, and Pokemon taught us how to deal with the bullies,
be the better
and
person,
the rivals in our lives.
Right?
You just be better than them. You just, like Pokemon inspired a generation of nerds to like become tech billionaires that would then employ the Gary Oaks in their lives. Like that is. So, anyways, I'm not saying that it has to be that. I'm simply saying that like there's lots of issues that are relevant to kids out there, and Pokemon no longer addresses any of those. It just is like, don't worry, the person who's supposed to be your rival will like always like be fine with you kicking their butts constantly. And like, no, I don't know, it's weird. So anyways, yeah, I think they certainly can keep that tone and yet completely overhaul the game and everything about it.
Yeah,
Rant over. Woo, thanks, Shane.
I also agree.
That was a good prompt. Yeah,
it was a good prompt,
question.
and it was a wonderful analogy to look at God of War and how they changed their entire tone to grow with their audience and continue to be like adult, but also extraordinarily different between God of War 3,
yes.
which was very like macho toxicity.
It was like, look how adult we are. Yeah, ooh,
and then like to go into like, Kratos. Wait, let's look at what growing up as an adult male as a father would look like in the world and like deal with anyway. It's great. So like that analogy can totally be applied to children's games. Like I think even Animal Crossing New Horizons is an evolution in what can be completely innovated in the franchise of Animal Crossing. It's still appealing to children but also adults. So you can totally
Let's be real. Animal Crossing is just prepping. It's a game that preps children to pay off their mortgages.
Yeah,
it is like it's a capitalist just training program.
Yeah,
this is boot camp for capitalism.
Yeah, right.
Get a job, kid, and pay off your mortgage.
Do a bunch of chores.
The real truth. Exactly. Do a bunch of chores until you pay off your mortgage. We're gonna make choring fun.
Yay, chores.
No, I get your point. I get your point.
Yep, it's great. Yeah. Good point.
So, cool. Cool. Well, I don't really have much else. I don't really want to. I mean, I do want to keep playing on like a doing something with my life level, but I don't necessarily want to keep playing on the stream where all I do is apparently fight level 20 pups. not those real mons. Not fighting those level 90 legendaries with my Rapidash T-Bone, my Ursaring. So I'm good.
That's cool. I mean, I was. What? No, we're only an hour and a half, man. We got a whole other half hour to play.
It's up to 2 hours. It doesn't have to be 2 hours.
Oh, I like it. All right. So there's a satchel.
I have
over
lived
here.
my life never stepping it up, T-Bone. I'm not gonna start now.
Whoa, too real. All right, I'm gonna fight this thing with a Pikachu, and I'm gonna hopefully one-shot it. So I've been doing like the whole time you've been talking, I've been looking at side quests because this game is very prolific and it's side quests. There's tons of side quests. Find a specific Pokemon. Find a specific item.
Give me those
craft the things
side
like
quests.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So the whole time I've been
quests.
that's it. I've just been doing that. That's all I've been doing.
I don't need no Witcher 3 in my Pokemon. I don't need to find the were Pikachu that bit the lady and the mistress. Well, his mistress got bit by a were Pikachu.
Amongst that are
him
these
up
cool
in a basement.
these cool lost satchels, and those are, if you're connected to the internet, you can like, I guess when someone's dead, or I don't know how they get trigger, but they have to do with someone else's. Yeah, and that's really cool. So it's like an asynchronous online thing. It's someone else died in this exact spot in the world sometime in their game, and that information gets propagated to the internet. In my game, it's someone's death spot as a satchel to pick up, and it's full of items. Yeah. And this person that I just picked up a quest for asked me to go get a satchel, and I just did. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm going to fight this match up because I'm a BAMF. And that's what I do. Kids, if you're listening to this and you want to know what a BAMF is, ask your parents, and they will give you the correct
answer. It's the sound that Nightcrawler makes when he teleports in the old.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
X-Men comics.
Get out of here with that.
When people start saying that, I didn't know what they meant, and I assumed that they were talking about Nightcrawler, and I was like, yeah, Nightcrawler's making a comeback. Favorite X-Men.
Ah, Nightcrawler's awesome.
Bam.
And apparently Blizzard is
that's
wildly
what
inaccurate.
happens in my head when that's what happens in my head whenever I see any character teleport in any video game or TV show. In my head, I translate it as bam, bam,
nice,
bam. That's how influential X-Men comics were.
I love Marvel. I just finished watching or reading a Miles Morales comic. It was awesome. It was great. Now I'm using my Walrein that I just caught.
Did
my
he
level
bam?
50. He kind of did because he goes through dimensions. It's kind of his thing. Bam, sort of. It's not. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. I just killed the champion thing. I don't have any space in my satchel. What the crap? How do I... There's limited
the inventory
space.
Management in this game is a big criticism. We forgot to mention that. The inventory sucks. And when you level up your inventory, it's like it costs you like it's an exponential increase in the amount of money, and you only get one slot added to your inventory at a time. It's awful. So yeah, that is a downside.
Is there? How do you craft? Like right here.
You go to your now hit. You go to your you're behind. I'm delayed. But you go to your menu and then you hit key items. I think the R1 bumper.
Crafting kit. Yeah, craft.
And then the crafting kit. Yeah, and then you can craft on the fly. You can also craft at the tables. You can do more crafting at the tables. No, you can craft with access to your like bank storage of items if you go to the crafting table, but if you craft from your crafting kit, you can only use items from
there we go. Now
what you have on your person.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sleepy. Ugh.
Sleepy.
Sorry. Sleepy.
So yeah, I just been doing a bunch of side quests. I want to continue the story because, see, like, this game does have the same sort of not fatigue and overwhelming stuff combined in that there's so much to do. There's so much. The Pokedex itself, I'll show you. Here's the Pokedex, right? I went into unknown for some reason. It's delayed. But I looked through the Pokedex, and there's every single species of Pokemon that's in order for this region, the Sinnoh region. And there's all these objectives and research levels. So I'm looking at Burmy, research level 4. There's a check mark for number of them being caught, number of them being defeated, number you've defeated with flying type moves, times you've seen it use Struggle Bug. It's a move that it can use, so you can like watch it do that. Number you've seen it, different forms you've obtained, number you've seen leap out of trees, and number you evolved. So you could like take that and be like, that's one species of Pokemon that is just Burmy. And that's like some grass type Pokemon that it doesn't really mean much. It's not a legendary, it's just a common grass, right? You have that, and then you can go into your like side quests where there's like so many things to do. I have hundreds, I don't know hundreds, but there probably is hundreds of requests. I'm already up to like 48 is the highest number I see here, and there's so many undone. And there's like racing. There's the racing. There's like pretty cool. The Will-O-Wisps that are like around, which are a collectible around the world. Those, yep. There's a score of 10,000 points or more, target practice games. So there's so much stuff you can do that I would easily have. Back in my Skyrim original, like OG, when I first picked up Elder Scrolls, I was super overwhelmed by all this stuff, and I couldn't get into them. And The Witcher 3 helped me like frame that, put it into context. It reshaped my context of what that looks like. And now I have a new appreciation for games like Fallout and Skyrim, in that don't put as much importance on all of that stuff as I was. So you can just mainline the game. You can just do the main quests. You don't have to do any of that stuff. And because Nintendo doesn't have an achievement or a trophy system, you don't have to worry about, like, doing any of that stuff. So I will probably just mainline this game from where I'm at now to the end of the game just to get through it, just to finish it and check it off the box. Like, I finished Pokemon Legends Arceus, and if there's a specific aspect of the game that grips me and I want to go back and do it, I will, because it's backlog season. There's no new games coming out for like the next 3 months, and I'm almost done.
Ridiculous.
I'm so close with Paper Mario Origami King. I'm so close. I'm right there. I just finish that and just move on. There are rewards. Yeah, every single quest has rewards. Like, you can see the rewards at the bottom. Say, search for bitter leaves. Find the Pokemon with 3 leaves in the Crimson Mirelands and catch one and give it to this person. I get Find Remedy and Hoppo Berries. I don't know what Find Remedy and Hoppo Berries do. Maybe they're ingredients for crafting. This one gives you a Max Revive, which is actually pretty valuable. This one gives you an Experience Candy Small. So yeah, like, all the little side quests give you something, but there's no overarching, like, you did all the side quests, here's this legendary item or this access to a legendary
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
The nice little icons next to your Pokemon when you've completed their things, and that's nice. It literally is it's not nothing, but it's satisfying to look and be like, yeah, I've completed all the research for all my Pokemon, and so they have a nice little Pokeball icon next to it.
Oh, that one, yeah. So here's the Pokedex. I'm looking at it now for those who are watching visually. You can see, like, Burmy does not have the Pokeball. Parasect does not. Bibarel does not. Psyduck does, and that's because research level is 10. And if you look at this grid, what's not obvious is that you only have to complete a number of things within this combination matrix that's going on here to reach level 10, and that's how you get the completion. So you don't have to do all of it. Like, I can just go murder a bunch of Combees, and I'll get a check mark for that, and probably get the next... I could go kill 4 Combees and go from level 6 to 10 because of the second row. It's hard to explain if you're not looking at it, but each row has a level of objectives. So number of them caught, 1, check mark. Catch 3, check mark, that's level 2. Catch 6, check mark, that's level 3. Catch 12, another check mark, that's level 4, and so on and so forth. So you can go through the Pokedex. If you want to 100% the Pokedex, every single Pokemon game ever released has a reward for completing the Pokedex. And some are awesome and some are not, and I cannot remember any of them because I've never done it. So there's that. Backlog season. I'm going to finish Arceus. I'm working on my Switch backlog. I got a lot. Also, Shan Lake Sharks, thank you for the follow. That was 40 minutes ago, and I just realized you followed me, so thank you. And I think you were the one that texted me and said that we could not hear Penguin, so you were paramount in our tech situation, so thank you for everything. I hope you are still here.
Shan.
I hope that's the case.
I don't really like sharks all that much, but...
Well, Shan likes them, so you better get on her level.
I'm glad someone needs to like sharks, because otherwise sharks are pretty... disliked in general, I think.
I mean, I'm not. I got a smiley face from Shan like Sharks. Nice. Yeah, like Shark Week happens, and it's a major thing. Okay, it's all over.
People like, yeah, that's the only time people like sharks. Otherwise, if I'm in my D&D campaign, like, my druids aren't shape-shifting into sharks. They're shape-shifting into, like, bears and stuff. They can, but they're not.
Dude, it'd be pretty sweet to
tell
have
me
a shark.
Why. You can't. You could roll
have
a
you
shark
seen,
druid, and we could do an aquatic
Sharknado?
I have.
Legendary.
I'm not saying that sharks are unlikable. I'm just saying that.
Oh, okay. That you don't like them.
I don't like sharks,
okay, gotcha.
and very few people that I know like sharks. Although maybe they don't tell me that they like sharks, or
you never know.
Man, this has been a tangent. I hope this is clearly someone you know, so I hope that they're cool.
Yes, they're awesome.
Because otherwise, I've made an impression that is less than stellar, I imagine.
You're totally fine. I mean, I'm actually and genuinely excited for Scarlet and Violet. And that's because I just gave my 7-year-old son a Nintendo Switch for his birthday. It was his very first console that he now gets to call his own. And I'm totally going to get the double pack that comes with Scarlet and Violet, and he's going to get Violet, and I'm getting Scarlet, and we'll have both versions of Pokemon in the same household. And I'm super excited to, like, trade with him and get him involved. It'll be his first mainline Pokemon entry all by himself. I'm just going to live.
You're going to burn that kid out on Pokemon so hard, you're going to be like,
how far are you? You need to get farther.
I can't get this Pokemon. I need you to level it up right now. You have till 3 o'clock to level up that Pokemon and trade it with me, or you're grounded.
Whoa. Whoa, I wish my parents did that.
Hey, it's you who's you're the one doing it to your kid.
I wish my parents would ground me for not playing enough Pokemon. That would have been awesome.
Which is an absolutely absurd notion.
Right. Well, it has been an hour.
Well,
and
I think
42
that's
minutes.
it. That's it. We're good. I think we're good. I don't think anyone wants us to continue to ramble.
I got a level 10 Starevia entry in my Pokedex. So, there it happens.
If you had been switched over to my screen, you would have seen me valiantly fight a giant hippopotamus Pokemon with Pokemon all lower level than it. T-Bone. Get out of here with that crap.
Well, it's my fault that nobody saw that.
It is your fault.
Because I'm the one that's got the...
You owe me a victorious moment.
Dan, you're amazing. Thank you for
So we're
going
to switch to Elden Ring, and I'm going to fight something.
Oh. Whoa.
Fight something I know how to beat.
Whoa. Dark Souls
that's
Pokemon?
it. So if you want to, yes, please. Oh my gosh. From Software making a Pokemon game. Ooh. I'm into it. I'm here for it. It's now my one and only dream, and I don't even want necessarily America. If America were to fall into a dictatorship and we were to all
too real
become like slaves to the aristocracy, the billionaire aristocracy, it would be worth it if they made if they were like, but you're gonna get a Pokemon from Software game. I'd be like, all right. Welcome our billionaire Elon Musk overlords. That's what I want.
You are saying so many things that would just get you inflamed on Twitter right now.
Yeah, but it's Twitter, so like if anyone's still on
there,
Twitter,
right?
then they deserve to be inflamed already. So be real.
You would be the inflamed one, not anyway.
Well, yeah, but like they're Twitter users. It's like telling me that you're basically telling me that like, oh man, you'd feel so bad if those kids were to call you immature. I'm like, yeah, but they're children.
Right.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like insults from pearls before swine, I suppose. Is that the saying? That's not the saying at all. That's a whole different saying, but it's okay. Yeah, you're right. I would get inflamed.
I'm the one that had a beer. What are you talking about?
I'm just bored now. I'm bored, and so I'm just saying nonsense. So, hashtag Elon Musk. Hashtag
Nope.
Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp. Hashtag.
Nope. Nope. Just nope. I'm gonna nope all that.
Pope a nope. In it. All right. Well, that's the show, I guess. So, audio listeners have probably stopped at this point. And I'm getting that sweet music again, and I'm so here for it.
It's pretty awesome. I don't know how you did it.
Thanks for watching. Check out the podcast. We do a podcast that's much less controversial, I guess. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just as controversial. It depends on our topic, I guess. But we're doing an episode. I'm working on an episode now about like how to teach gaming to non-gamers. And that was a good discussion. And it's fun listening to it over again. So you can check that out. That'll be airing on Monday at midnight. Monday at midnight. You can listen to it. So check that out, and then we'll do another one of these. No, we're not. We're skipping a month because Termite can't stay home for longer than a week. For the next month and a half. So we're just gonna shoot for the end of next August. Just give ourselves when life gets too busy. Unfortunately, streaming is the first thing that has to be cut. So, but that's okay because that makes it more special when we actually do it. So next week, if you are just dying to get more of us on a live stream, you can check out the D&D live stream I'm doing now, Advantage or Die, totally unrelated, unaffiliated with our show here, but shout out to those guys. We had a lot of fun. I seduced the Death Goddess in the last one we did, which is live now. So you can go to Advantage or Die and watch me seduce the Death Goddess. It's like 2.5 hours into the live stream. It's D&D, so it takes a while, so like get over it. Just skip ahead to 2 minutes and 30 seconds and you'll get to watch me seduce a Death Goddess. That's what you get when you're a bard and you roll a 25 in persuasion.
Whoa. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's enough to persuade a goddess to kiss you and send you back to your body after you died to a giant because you peed in his lake.
Neat. Don't pee in lakes, folks. That's not a thing.
Don't pee in lakes. Don't tick off giants, but absolutely
we don't endorse
seduce
that.
death goddesses. Yep, no. But we do we do endorse seduction of death goddesses. So check all that out. And other than that, we will Termite, tell them where they can engage with us if they want to engage with us in something
I have a question
other
for you.
On a live stream.
Where can they find your live stream information about your D&D that you do? Is that tied to 80-bit? Can I say the same thing?
No.
So to find you specifically.
I said twitch.tv/advantage or die.
Okay, gotcha. That's where you are doing your D&D thing. On what nights of the week?
That's it. Tuesday nights.
Every Tuesday?
But you can subscribe now, and you can see the episode we did.
Sure. But what time do you go, in case I want to do this next week?
7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock Eastern.
Daylight savings time.
Yes.
Which is now. Right.
That's what the time
EDT.
is right now. Yes.
Eastern Daylight
EDT.
Savings Time. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
So know that. Audience, go do that, because you got to see
Listeners,
Penguin
go
Man
do
do
that.
his thing. Yeah. Outside of that,
so well.
we also do our own stuff. You can interact with us, give us your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, and ideas at all of our social media platforms over at 80bitpodsmash.com, because that's our landing website that has links to all that stuff. We have a Discord server. You can chat with us. In fact, I'm about to post about summer gaming. Memorial Day is behind us. It is now officially summer. Although the first day of summer is not until June 21st. It's summer now because it's in the 90s in Virginia. It's insane. It's way too early for it to be this hot. It's awful. My air conditioning's leaking and blowing up because it's so hot. I can't keep up. It's dumb. But I'm dying to play like Wind Waker. And I'm dying to play Mario Sunshine. What is it about GameCube in summertime? I don't know. But you can chat with us about that on Discord. And you can find our Discord server via our website, 80bitpodsmash.com. So go do that. Go check us out. Give us all those thoughts. Subscribe and follow us here on twitch.tv/80bitpodsmash. If you're finding us through YouTube, go to the Twitch channel, hit the subscribe button, because in August, we're going to review something. We don't know what that is yet, but we'll be there. Because July, Termite disappears into the vortex.
There's nothing else.
There would be nothing better. It would be nothing better than our audience to tell us what they want to see us review. And do it now so that I have the month of July to attempt to play it. Especially if it's like a Vita or a Switch game, which is portable and I can take with me on my trips. Because if you tell me what you want to hear, what you want to see, that'd be awesome. So let us know, audience,
ideally,
what you
we do
want
stuff
to see.
that we've both played, and if not, something that one of us has played and the other can do something the other has played.
Yeah, we did a split
around
review.
The idea of doing a split review, yeah. But
so, we'll find something.
We're open to all kinds of possibilities, but when we came up with this idea, it was still early enough in the year that nothing had gotten delayed yet, and we were like, we're gonna have so much to review, and then everything got delayed, and now we're like, now we don't have anything.
And you're playing Ghostwire Tokyo. I'd love to hear a review of that.
I am.
Yeah,
I am
so
playing
we'll
Ghostwire
see.
Tokyo.
I want to get Sifu, so maybe we can do a split of Sifu and Ghostwire if no one responds.
True.
Now that Sifu's
Maybe
got
that's
an
what
easy
we'll
mode
do.
and I can actually play it, because I'm a wimp.
August.
And I play easy mode. We'll see. It's all up to
All
y'all.
right, bye.
So let us know. 80bitpodsmash.com. See you next week.